Off the edge, pressure going deep, long for Rice.
Got him.
Touchdown. Well, they dialed up the pressure, and Rice gets his fourth.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Hey, and welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. That's PORSBR is my Twitter handle, X handle, whatever you want to call it. Put on waivers _podcast is where you can see me on Instagram, and you can always have the text line. Text line's right below me, so you can text questions to the show as well. USC wins 42-28. A kind of a sloppy, game from the outset for USC. Caleb Williams doesn't play his best game, but one of his worst games will be a lot of times, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The guy's just been sensational in his whole career. But didn't have his best stuff tonight, but still was able to put up 42 points on the road against Arizona State here. Kenny Dillingham took a lot of heat, for his comments and sounding just like Herm Edwards, who was the former Arizona State coach as well. But his team played well. His team played with a lot of fight. His team came to play. The home crowd was a factor. It was their first road game for the Trojans. And I know people were going on Twitter and just, I'm out, I'm done. I can't sit there and support this madness anymore. I just feel like people are just having a little bit too much tequila, if you will, in this game. Like usually in an Alex Grinch game, a game like this, I would say to myself, oh my God, whatever, 28 points. They had one really bad tackling sequence on a touchdown run, but I'm seeing what he wants to do. I'm seeing that he wants tackles for loss. I'm seeing that he wants to get interceptions. He wants to get turnovers, and he wants to get sacks and sack the quarterback in. Like he had some pretty good blitz packages today. They had a couple of fourth downs that I wasn't thrilled with that they didn't convert. I think ASU was 3 for 4 on fourth down, so they could have done a better job there. But when was the last time a Trojan defensive line had 8 sacks? They got 14 tackle for losses, and they had 2 turnovers in the game. Like, if you watch that defensive line in this game, USC was tested, and they probably were tested more so than they've ever been this season, right? And the score was 27-21. It was like 3 or 4 possessions where you were like, are we really going to watch Arizona State march down the field and win this game and go up or just go up 28-27, and we're going to be really sweating in a situation here where it's like, oh my God, Pac-12 after dark, USC off the bye week doesn't do their job against Arizona State. You can see the headlines, already Trojans get burned by the Sun Devils, all this stuff like that, right? But they found a way to win. And I think that what we have to do is SC fans sometimes is just like kind of take a deep breath and just say that these kids are not going to be perfect. There are some issues with the team, just like there are issues with any team. Georgia has issues. Did you watch Notre Dame and Ohio State today? Those teams have issues too. I think I'm kind of really proud of what they did tonight. I thought they got challenged. They got hit in the face. They got beat up on special teams. I thought Zachariah Branch did not play his best game at all. He made some really poor decisions coming out, one to come out of the end zone and really put his team in a bad position as far as having to go the length of the field instead of just kneeling and getting the ball where they could have gotten the ball at the 25-yard line. Didn't do that. There were some really big mistakes in here. Caleb Williams had a missed a missed handoff to Marshawn Lynch. I'm sorry, to Marshawn Lloyd. Like that's just, I mean, that's something that that hasn't happened all year. And the crowd noise and they had they called all their timeouts. I mean, they had if this game was really closer at the end, it would have been an issue because they only had one timeout with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. So the communication wasn't great, but they found a way to win. And I'm not gonna. I think they should be commended for that. They're gonna get everybody, quote unquote. Oh, they're gonna get everybody's best shot. I know it sounds cheesy, and I do think that is a cheesy thing, the thing to always say. But they played. This game was really a wild, crazy game, and they were able to come out on top. And I think they're not perfect. I understand what the holes are. We'll talk about some of those holes. We'll talk about some of those holes right now. But like, and it's just certain things I don't understand what's going on with the roster. I just don't make it. I don't know what's going on with Rayshawn Davis, but he must have cursed somebody out or something because I don't know what's going on with him, why he's not playing. But but for the most part, when you get challenged, you get hit in the face. We've seen so many times USC teams under Clay Helton, under previous coaches, just get smacked in the face and don't do what this team did, which is respond. And they just responded and responded and responded in this game. And like I said, that's that portion of the game. I've seen this game before where it's 27-21. They get smacked in the face. They're winning the game. And then all of a sudden the opponent scores. In this game, it didn't score. They didn't score until USC kind of took the game over. So you should be proud of the Trojans tonight. I really believe so. I don't think that this was a typical like, oh my God, let me kill Alex Grinch. I don't know what people are saying. I'm done. I'm out. Well, Alex Grinch. It didn't. I mean, like they had some really cool. Sometimes the opponent just has some really nice, cool trick plays. They went for an onside kick. USC recovered it. Like they did everything but the kitchen sink. They had the running game going with Cameron Skateaboo. He was actually 2 for 3 passing the football, which was crazy as well. But Dillingham did a good job, man. Sometimes it's just not, you're playing against another D1 school. Like I know people want to like say all these things, but they're playing against another D1 school. They have a lot of talent on the team, but like again, different year. They have some depth. They're pretty much pretty healthy as far as everything goes with the squad. They came off a bye week, first road game of the year. I'm gonna if the same thing happens in Colorado next week, then maybe I'll kind of feed into it. But I'm not gonna feed into it right now. They're a big play offense, and I gotta say, you know what they are on defense? They're a big play defense. That's what they are. I mean, they want big play. He wants big plays on defense. He wants tackles for loss. He wants to play the same game that Steve Spagnuolo plays with the Chiefs. He wants to get big plays because he knows he has an all-star, all-world quarterback. So you're gonna have some plays where you're gonna scratch your head, and you just have to live with it. You gotta live with it. And I'm not gonna kill Alex Grinch because I really think that the defense made a lot of big plays in this game, had some big moments in this game, and kind of stabilized the game to warn off the upset by Arizona. And I do give them credit. Like I said, 8 sacks. 8 sacks. I was really hoping they would get the 10, but 8 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and then they also have two turnovers in this ball game. I thought Bullock was pretty good today as well. So let's just go right through it. And I think the biggest question is that USC fans really want to know is what is the dealio on Rashawn Davis? Like, I don't understand what's going on with Rajon Davis. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I thought in the games he played this year, he looked phenomenal. He looked solid. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He was getting them in and out of plays. He was just the most consistent linebacker they have. And I understand the whole all the publicity about Tackett Curtis and Mason Cobb and Eric Gentry. But at the end of the day, like, I thought this was about playing the best guy. And Rayshawn Davis can play, and then whoever else is next to him can rotate. Because right now that's who the best linebacker is on this team. Like he is on a depth chart. He's maybe you go to if you go to ourlads.com, you can see the depth chart. Depth chart has him kind of backed up. I mean, you're almost like he's been really good, and I think he should get a lot more playing time. I don't know if he even got a snap tonight. I don't remember seeing him at all. So before I go, but and which is the coolest thing. Before I go into that part of it, I really feel like the combination of Romello Height, Jamel Muhammad, Solomon Bird, and Bear Alexander really did a great job pressuring the quarterback. They were fantastic. I mean, they really did. That was fun to watch. I was looking forward to them hitting the quarterback because they did it a whole lot in this game, and I give them a lot of credit for it. And that was really the game. That was really when was the last time we had a D line who could rush the passer at a high level? Like just think before we go crazy about everything defensively and all this stuff like that, like everything. But let's think about that for a second. They held the game down. They really, I'm telling you, man, they if you go back and watch it again, they really held the game down for a long period of time while the offense worked out the kinks and got everything going back in the right direction. So I definitely want to give that defensive line a lot of credit. Solomon Bird, was just he's just having a resurgence. He's playing great. He's playing really good football. You saw Beryl Alexander, all those things like that. Like it was just beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to watch them go after the quarterback. I thought they did a good job of that. On the flip side, you're going to say, hey, what about stopping the run? Well, what do you? I mean, you want to stop everything? I guess you want to stop everything for the first, for the most part. They didn't really. They stopped Drew Pine for the most part in this game. 20 carries on 20 carries for Cameron. Skateboo is not going to be good. 20 carries for 111 yards, and then you also give him 80 yards of receiving. A lot of that was on that one run late in the fourth quarter, and that's just people being out of position and just not recognizing what they have to do. But I mean, those plays are. I don't know what to. You want to give Al? You want to call Alex Grinch's job for Eric Gentry not pushing on a fourth down, not pushing the running back out of bounds when he's rushing him when he's defending him on a pass pattern that would have been short of the first down. And then you have Max Williams getting run over, like and not tackling and just not seeing what he's hitting and getting kind of walked right over. Like that's not sometimes it's the players who gotta come through and play, and they gotta come through and be tougher in those situations. You know, they have holes and they're not a great. I mean, like Sierra Wright is solid, but he's not great. He's not great. I thought Christian Roland Wallace did a really good job today. I thought he was solid in coverage today. As I kind of go through, let's give you like the yin and yang, the good and the bad with this game. I will say this right here. So Mason Cobb, he looks great in a USC uniform. It's super cute that he's wearing 13, but at the end of the day, like Rashawn Davis is playing better football. So that's who should play. It should be a competition to see who plays alongside Rashawn Davis. Like really seriously. Like it's getting like we don't need to like playing favorites, doing all this other stuff like that. I don't get it. Also, if they're trying to run the football, that's a prime time to put in Shane Lee. Shane Lee's healthy and Shane Lee is a run stopper. So why not? I mean, why not give Shane Lee a chance right here as well? Like I love freshmen, exciting freshmen, but like let's be real about what Tackett Curtis is as well. Give me Rayshawn Davis as a starter. Also, it is, I don't know, I remember, do you remember last year where Brendan Rice was dropping a lot of passes and he fell out of favor? And then at the end of the season, he really started to come on for SC. That's what we maybe need to do with Mario Williams. Mario Williams is dropping passes left and right. And they're trying to get him the football early in games. They're trying to get him the football so he can make plays. And the bottom line is this guy is just dropping passes left and right, and it's costing them. It was a fourth. I think it was a second and 4, 8-yard pass. He's open. He drops it. Next play, Caleb Williams gets sacked on third down. Like keep the chain. You got to keep those chains moving, and that's part of the deal here. And he couldn't keep the chains moving because he dropped he dropped the pass there. He also dropped another pass later earlier in the game as well. Like this offense is like about you got to catch a football. And can I just see a little bit? Like, I mean, I'm not. I know Dorian Singer just chilling in the wings and doing this thing. I I could see a little bit less Mario. Pull back Mario a little bit, and let me see Dorian Singer. I know they don't play the same position. I know one's a Z and one's a slot receiver, but I need to see some more Dorian Singer because I know he has for sure has sure hands. So we got to make sure we see that as well. Offensive line, thank God they got that game out of their way as far as communication. I mean, I think Justin Ditas just kind of threw one right into you know, this part of the body where the sun don't shine, and right into Caleb Williams who fell to the ground because of it. I just I am not my like I am really worried about Didic at center. He has these moments in the game where it's just like tough to watch a little bit, and that's what I'm worried about when they play the Utah, when they play the Washingtons, the Notre Dames, teams like that. That's why I am worried about that little portion of the game where he starts to struggle. But again, I think another guy who I thought before I talk about anything, another guy who I thought would be more of a factor would be Jack Sullivan. He's not really given much of anything in this on this D line. I thought he would be a little bit more of a menace player there, but that's something that that's a transfer who's struggling to kind of find his way as well. In the secondary, you didn't hear Demani Jackson's name too much in the game until I get to all 22. I won't go crazy about that part of it. But I did think that um that Sierra Wright gave him a big play, but this like I said, it's a big play. They left him on an island. It was a tough play. I mean, he has to try to find the ball the best way he knows how, and you just have to feel that was a play where he could have knocked the ball out of the other receiver's hand. There has to be those drills where you can rake through, do what you have to do there. So no, wasn't happy with that part of it. I thought Christian Roland Wallace came in and played well in his ball game. And then I thought Bullock was fantastic. Gonna be a really good pro as far as that goes. I wouldn't mind seeing the nickelback. I get nickelback. They have Jalen Smith there, but I wonder if Christian Pierce could play a little bit outside. I do wonder that a little bit because he does have. I mean, we go back to the spring game. He did play well in that game. He's only like I said, he's 6 feet tall. He could probably make some things happen there as well. But it was really just like I said, it was a really tough ball game to watch for as far as the execution part of it goes. You'll see what they really think about USC if they actually drop them from 5. I don't think they did anything today to have them drop in this game. I mean, when Georgia, they basically won by the same score Georgia won by, so they shouldn't drop for it. I think next week against Colorado, if they do play like this again, it might be a different story. It might be a different story as far as the standings go. But UCLA wins 42-28. Things we're happy about, things we're not happy about. But I do think I thought when you win games where you fight through it sometimes, I just feel like sometimes you just gotta just walk away from it and just say good job. And I know people are gonna go on and they're gonna just break things down. They're gonna tell you this, they're gonna tell you that, they're gonna say this thing bothered me, that thing bothers me, and whoa, if we played so and so today, this would have happened. They would have gotten destroyed if they played so and so. Well, they didn't play so and so today, and they were able to win the game, and they did everything they could do. They did everything good. They did everything they could in this game to make sure they finished it. I thought defensively, they got stops consistently when they needed to get stops. Now you're gonna see the highlight of Eric Gentry and Max Williams missing that tackle. If they were able to convert that fourth down, that would have been like, okay, perfect way to end the game. Let's run the clock out with Marshawn Lloyd and let's go home. And can we talk about Marshawn Lloyd a little bit? Like, how good was he in this game? That forward lean. There was that time where he had it was him one on one with a well, I think it was with linebacker or a slack linebacker or a safety. He did a great job of juking him out and out of his socks and then bouncing that play to the outside. Beautiful play by him in that moment, and I thought that he was just fantastic. Now there was a situation in this game where we love Lincoln Riley. We do. We love Lincoln Riley. We happy he's at USC, but there's times where I feel like he could have just listen. They're not stopping the run, and they're gonna be playing Colorado coming up here. Like, don't stop running the football, cousin. Like, just keep going. If they're small up front and you got hogs up front, and then USC has hogs up front, GT counter or whatever, like, keep running the football until they stop it. Like, Marshawn Lloyd was 14 carries on 150 yards. He could have easily had 200 yards in this game. Austin Jones only got 3 carries, but it was for 3 carries for 36 yards, 12 yards a pop. Like, it just made sense. This was the best game for Brendan Rice this season. 7 catches, 133 yards. Branch had 4 catches for 68 yards. And then let's see here. McCree had 1 catch. Dorian Singer had 1 catch. Mario Williams had 2 catches and 2 drops. Michael Jackson had a couple catches in it, and Taj Washington had a 45-yard touchdown. So that's the whole kit and caboodle as far as that goes. And let's look at the defensive side of the ball. I think Eric Gentry had 9 total tackles. The TFLs are pretty good because Gentry had a TFL. Jamil Muhammad had three tackles for loss. Tackett Curtis had 2 tackles for loss, including 2 sacks. See, that's the thing. When you get Tackett Curtis playing downhill, you got it. But as far as him playing anywhere else, it's not going to work. Because right now he's just kind of been like a guy who's just like a cat with a laser pointer, if you will, because he's kind of all over the place. Solomon Byrd, 2 sacks, 3 TFLs. Romello Height, I thought played foul. Romello Height was the dog tonight, man. He was a dog tonight. He was incredible, absolute dog. Played great. Bear Alexander got a sack to tackle for loss, and then Christian Rowan Wallace had a tackle for loss as well too. But Mason Cobb played a lot of snaps, man. Playing a lot of snaps and had 1 tackle. Like, I don't see Jacoby Covington had one tackle as well. I don't see my guy up here at all. Like, I don't think he played at all today. And that's just like, I don't know how he doesn't play in this game. I'm sorry. I just don't know how he didn't play in this game. I don't know how Rashawn Davis did not play in this game. Like, we can't get caught up in like, so and so, whatever. Like, he could have went somewhere and started. So let's just be smart and let's just start playing people, But USC won this. USC struggled against Arizona State. Oregon. People will forget that Oregon struggled against Texas Tech. Like, it happens. It absolutely happens. Utah barely beat Baylor. I had to score 2 touchdowns in the last 90 seconds to win that game. So it happens. It happens. You're playing a quality opponent who actually, let me take it back. Arizona State is not a quality opponent, but you're playing Arizona State. You're the quality of the opponent. You're the hot girl. They're the ugly girl. Sometimes the ugly girl puts up a fight, and they put up a good fight today. As they give USC everything they can handle out there in Tempe. All right, so Student Body Right USC podcast. We'll have some more on this game and all the stuff that comes out after the press conference. I know that Lincoln Riley wasn't happy with the tackling. There's things defensively that I was happy with. Things defensively I wasn't happy with. But I do think when you do get a situation where you have to get a stop and you get those stops, that's good football. That's really good football. I thought they played decent football. I think the not tackling on the fourth down play to give up a 60-yard touchdown to come on, like that running back is not anybody great. That's a problem. But again, USC prevails and wins this game. So if this shirt looks hella dirty, then maybe I'll wash the shirt next time. I'll do a show with it. But I thought it was a little bit cleaner than this, or like, I probably just lint. I'm sorry. All right, all right, Trojans. Take care, man. I'll see you next time, and then we'll have a show coming for you soon. And kind of recapping and finish the recapping before we go to Boulder. Go to Boulder and face Dion and his crew. All right, peace.